Yes, another bloody gaming podcast. Number 9.
Since Spacies.
G'day invaders and welcome to Since Spacies, and this is, yes, another bloody gaming podcast, number 9. We're almost up to 10, but this is number 9, and I am joined by 3 other awesome YouTubers. We've got Ben from Grumpy Retro Gamers.
Howdy.
There's a delay, it's like via satellite. And we've also got Wacko Jacko from Wacko Jacko Gaming. You've dropped the gaming though, aren't you? You're just now Wacko.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm probably doing a bit more competitive career sort of thing, but I do sway away from Splatoon a lot and play other games with friends, so...
I haven't noticed. It's just Splatoon Central on your channel lately.
Yeah, I can explain later.
And we've also got Sorax Space here online as well.
Hello, good to be here. Thanks.
And well, we've only got one newbie here, which is Sorax Space. So we go through the 3 questions, the standard questions. Your first gaming console and the first game on it.
So, unsurprisingly, my first gaming console was the Mega Drive, but not the original Mega Drive. It was the Mega Drive version 2, which I'm sure your viewers already know what that looks like, but I've got it here to showcase it, to save you an editing job. There it is, if you can see that.
Sega represent.
Yeah. So that's my first console. I didn't buy it, it was given to me, and my first game was a bit hard to tell. My memory's a bit fuzzy, but I was given sort of a bundle of games with by my cousin and with the console. And one of those games was Sonic 1, and I'm pretty sure I had Sonic 2 as well at the same time.
Okay.
But if I'm as OCD as I am now, I probably would have played the first one first. So I'm guessing my first game was Sonic 1 that I ever played.
Okay, and that just makes me feel intensely old. And what are you currently playing at the moment?
So I got a Switch. I was a bit late to the party with the Switch, but I'm currently playing Super Mario Odyssey, which I think is quite good. The good levels are good, and then I think there's a lot of what I would call filler.
Yeah.
So a lot of levels which are just sort of padding, which just sort of makes the game a bit longer. But I think the good levels are good.
I think
I'm also playing. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say I think the padding level that comes to mind is the desert level. It's just empty space, and yeah, and that for me, when I saw that was the very first level I think that they revealed, and I was thinking how disappointing it looked, but the rest of the game does make up for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the one on the street, you know, which is like based on, I think it's New York, is it?
Yeah, New Donk City. New Donk, yeah.
It's great, but I'm currently on a level where it's just like pink or purple water, and you just go for it, and it's just like lots of yellow land. I don't know what it's called. That's what I'm currently on.
Nintendo do a lot of that in the Mario games, and people don't comment on it. I'm not bagging out the game, but I'm just saying that it's not the perfect masterpiece that it perhaps could have been, but you know.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I was playing it. It is good though, but I'm also playing Resident Evil 4, the remaster on PS4, which is pretty good. It's one of my favourite games, Resident Evil 4, and also Cuphead on Steam. I'm not a big Steam fan.
Cuphead, because he doesn't value his life.
It's really difficult. Every single level is really difficult, but it's fun difficult. It's one of those games that's challenging, still fun.
Super Girls and Ghosts is the game that comes to mind in that category for me. It's just like, it's insanely hard, but you keep doing it because you're just itching to get through to the next level every time.
I'd rather that than too easy. You just sort of go through a game sleepwalking. You know?
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to ask, your favourite game of all time?
I'm going to be really annoying. I've got a top 10 because I can't. I'm not going to dodge the question.
No.
I've got a favourite, but it's so hard to choose one. So because my favourite is Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Mega Drive.
Yeah.
That is what really got me into the gaming, and that's why I love gaming. It's just so many great memories from that game. Fantastic soundtrack, so many great levels. So that will be my first top. But there's so many others, it's so hard to choose. So I'm very sorry. And if you're going to edit in all of the titles, I'm very sorry. You don't have to do it.
I will. There's a graphic for everyone coming up. Here we go. Bring it on.
I'm top 50. So 1, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. 2, Final Fantasy 7. 3, Resident Evil 4. Next, Fallout 3. Final Fantasy X, Pokemon Emerald on the Game Boy Advance, GTA San Andreas, Bioshock Infinite, Tony Hawk's Underground, and Digimon World.
And out of all of them, I haven't played the last 3 that you mentioned. So that's homework for me, I think, now.
Bioshock Infinite free, I think, if you've got PlayStation Plus. I don't know if it still is. It was.
Oh, right. So, okay. I'll have to look it up and get that. Because if someone mentions a top game of all time, I feel like I have to have at least played it or looked at it. So, yeah.
I wouldn't bother with Tony Hawk's Underground. It's just one of the nostalgia things for me. I think there's a difference between favourite and best games.
Yeah.
I've got favourite, but not necessarily the best. So, that's my take on it.
Okie dokie. And Ben, what are you currently playing? Because I know we don't ask the 3 questions, but I think it's good to check in on what you're playing.
At the moment, I've just got Super Mario Odyssey. I haven't actually started it yet. I intended to start it over the last weekend, but I was a bit apprehensive based on some of the things that Sorax just said, some of the filler levels that I've heard about, but I just need to dive into it and just start it. I've also invested in the Nintendo Labo, which has caused a bit of a few.
Shout out to Carbon Knights Gaming.
Yeah.
It's good cardboard, man. Good cardboard.
Yeah, but
Quality cardboard.
I mainly bought it to play with my son, and it is great fun. It's so good. It's really good. You just need to try it, in my opinion.
I get the haters. I get what they're trying to say. I don't agree with it, but that I get and understand their point. I understand though that the games are kind of watered down. They are very dilute versions of what you would expect from a game. But you can't help but feel that Nintendo are at least trying. No one can accuse them of just being lazily putting out any rubbish. And they're also tapping into their huge, what is it? They're 100 and odd years old now. They're tapping into their past here with this. This is not the first time they've done this.
Game cards.
Well,
Yeah,
no. More specifically, if you watch Slope's Gaming Room, he did a video which brought to your attention the time that Nintendo did Labo back in the 60s or 50s. They have done this. So
Yeah.
I think, wasn't that like an origami sort of thing?
Yes. And this is when you go to Japan, you'll see this being sold. They will do little shop stands, and you put together, it puts a little like a 3D panorama. They're awesome, and this is exactly what they're tapping into with the Labo. They're with the house one in particular. That's the one that makes me feel that that's what they're kind of tapping into. It's not something I would buy. Labo's not for me, and it's not for everyone. But I do stand on the side there and go, yeah, well done, you did well.
That's the point as gamers. We're looking at as objectively as gamers, where, you know, if I hear the phrase Nintendo as a toy company once more, I think I'll scream. But toy company, like everyone keeps saying. And I think it is market. So we're sort of looking at it. We can't really judge it. I think one of the problems with it is the price point. And you've got to remember, you've got to have a Switch as well. So that's like 250 quid here, and then you've got to fork out another 70 quid for the fishing rod and the robot pack and the piano. So when I initially saw it, I thought, are they serious? This is just cardboard. And I did think, you know, the software doesn't look impressive to me. And especially the piano. When I saw it, I thought it was a joke. There's like a grandpa that goes, when you press a button.
I haven't seen that.
It's not just any.
If you want that, save yourself 70 quid and stamp on your granddad's toe or something. Just a guy going,
But
higher and higher.
But the way it works in that the sensors, the IR sensors, actually detect and you got the little reflective tags that go on it to send the message back. That to me makes me sit there and go, how did they come up with that? So, you know, there's that aspect of it. Plus, there's also it's like in Enduro Racer where you can point the camera, which is the IR camera, at your hand, and then it produces a level based on your hand. That's pretty trippy. That's like, there's no way I would have thought of that.
Definitely. When I saw the robots, I just thought this is like the worst episode of Robot Wars I've ever seen in my life.
And I would sit down and watch that.
But it uses the rumble feature, doesn't it? I was just thinking that must be really draining on your battery of your Joy-Cons. I don't know how long that will last, but it's just constant rumble, isn't it?
I just can't wait for the YouTube
We get that in
videos.
most games anyway. Don't you?
The which one? Sorry.
You get the rumble feature in most games anyway. So
Yeah, correct. Yeah, the vibration.
Yeah, but constantly, that is the game. It's based on rumble, so I'm just wondering how long the battery will last in the controllers.
Yeah, true. Well, one of them definitely uses the rumble a lot. So I've only tried one from the variety pack so far, and that's the fishing game. I haven't actually got round to the rest of them yet. So, yeah, I assume the rest.
I
must
am
use the rumble
expecting you to post a robot fighting Chris one day.
A robot
So
fighting
that's-
while catching fish.
feature. Yeah. I saw that video of someone attaching a bread knife to the top of the robot one. and
That
just
was so cool.
sort of
Yes.
so wrong.
And Wacko Jacko, what are you currently playing at the moment?
Well, besides Splatoon 2, I actually there's a really nice indie game, I think you guys are aware of it, called Golf Story. Now, it's a little role-playing game, not just about golf, but it is...
Yes, I've got this on the...
Yes,
yeah.
Yeah, back in 1995, there was a game called Sensible Golf on the Windows 95, and this is almost a spitting image towards what Golf Story is, except obviously with the added story mode. It's actually a really cute game.
Sensible software, rest in peace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, forever remember. And other than that, I've also been playing a little bit of Smash Bros on the Wii U because I'm getting back into that game. That is so much fun. Smash Bros, obviously, because of the shirt.
I'm not going to get triggered with the bros thing. I'm over it.
You're over it. I know. I'm over it too. I haven't heard anyone say to me play like. Do you play Smash games? Brothers? Like no one says brothers anymore. It's just bros. It's just abbreviated. And I'm super hyped for the new Smash Bros. So.
Well, funnily enough, that shirt now you're coming across really fuzzy. The resolution's not that great. There is actually, but now hold on. There is actually no full stop at the end of bros.
Yeah, well,
on that shirt, so it is bros.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this shirt's living proof.
It's a counterfeit shirt, isn't it?
It's a knockoff.
I'll tell you what. Facebook every now and then has these random ads saying like, "Oh, are you a Smash fan? Get this cheap merch for like $12." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." So $12 later, this game. Yeah. So yeah, Smash Bros. I've been playing and Golf Story.
So speaking of getting duped, good segue into our first question. With downloads being offered DLC on games these days, you expect bang for your buck. When you see a download, like for me, the most classic download is map packs for Halo. That to me, you're going to get something tangible, well, in a gaming sense, and you're going to be at least setting yourself up to play that game quite often and use those download packs. But has there ever been a time when you bought maybe a DLC or gaming item and you just felt bloody ripped off? For example, the armor pack for Skyrim for the horse, which was just like totally useless. It had no effect on the game whatsoever. It just made your horsey look pretty. So does anyone think of any examples of just total rip-offs?
I can think of one straight off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And the reason why I never played it was the new Star Wars Battlefront. Like,
yes.
Everything wrong with that game. That was the biggest dupe of the century. It is... what were they thinking? Like, pay $99 plus another $99 and you get extra characters. It's like, no. Just, no. Why? Stop stealing our money. Because, like, Star Wars Battlefront 2 originally on the PS2 was, like, such a fun game. Like, the original Battlefront. And then going to the newer Battlefront version, it's just... Sorry, I'm swearing, but it deserves the X word. So yeah, that's my game.
So not a fan. Okay. Anyone else got any examples?
I'll say on the idea of DLC, there's certain DLC that's actually on the disc already. So one example is Resident Evil 5. They're called DLC, disc locked content. I call it. A lot of people call it. That's already on the disc. So it's not downloadable at all. What you're actually downloading is the key to unlock it.
Yeah.
So it's already on the disc. So Resident Evil 5 did it with reverses mode, and the download I think was 350 KB or something like that. So not 350, not even 350 MB, 350 KB. That was your download for the versus mode. You just unlocked like you sort of buy a key to unlock what's already on your disc.
And that KB, that free 50 odd KB was just an unlock. Said this bastard has bought this product.
I think Capcom did it with certain fighting games as well. Certain fighters
and they got the well-deserved rap for that. Wow, these games keep getting brought up in these topics. And the other one was that Tony Hawk skateboard game, just recently, the last one, where
number 5.
Well, it was the other way around. The disc itself was just the password, and you had to actually download the whole freaking game.
Oh, that's right, yeah. They released a massive patch for that, didn't they? Like, about a day after, they had to release a massive patch, and it was like twice the size of the original of the game.
Yeah, so...
speaking of Smash Bros, that was, I felt duped with that. On the Wii U, you had to pay for the characters that you already played with on the Wii.
Okay, let me interject here.
Come on.
Let me just tell you something. Bayonetta is not worth it, man. She is trash.
I'm talking about Lucas. Lucas. He was already on the game before, and we have to pay to play with him and get an extra 3 or 4 pounds.
Get that Bayonetta away from me. No. I have been to a few Smash.
Well and truly. Sorry, I was going to say, I felt well and truly duped with that one. It was just reminding me. Where you had to buy characters that you'd already played with in the previous version.
My understanding is that with the new Switch, Super Smash Bros. All the past DLC content is actually rumored to be part of the game when you open it up.
There's some theories where people think it's going to be like Super Mario Kart Deluxe, where they're just going to include all the characters and levels for free. But there's some of us Smash people that hope it's just going to be a brand new game. Like, so many people are going to be disappointed if it's just going to be a reskinned, just a upgrade 1 version. I don't know. I'm hoping for a new game, but I don't know. It's very iffy.
I think it will be a new game because they would have just revealed all of the footage for it if it was just the same rehash again. But they didn't. They did a teaser.
And the slight thing to take out from that teaser, if you notice, was Breath of the Wild Link and not the old Link. So I think it will be a new game. And
I got a feeling that it's going to use the same engine. There's no way that they can start from scratch, coming up with the engine just for what is essentially a port. But I'm not. I know I say port. I don't mean it in the true sense of the word. It's going to be its own product, and it will be a different experience, which I think is the more important thing here than just worrying about, they're using the same engine. Well, no, I don't want this. And people just like to find...
don't want it to turn into another FIFA, where they just keep updating. FIFA, Smash Bros, if they release Smash Bros every year and it's just new characters, then you're in trouble.
I thought it was funny when FIFA released the emotions aspect of the game, where players were feeling sad or unhappy about certain things happening in the game. I thought, what the hell, they're turning into Sims.
Feeling sad on £100,000 a week.
How am I going to live?
Only video games.
It's a tough life, isn't it? Struggle.
Yeah, I've always figured with those FIFA games they should be more sim-like and role-play. Like you get into scandals, your newspaper headline comes up that you've been caught cheating on the missus, or you got into a fight down at the local on the weekend and arrested. They should sim that totally into it.
They made a story mode for one of the... I think it was the last one, FIFA 18. They made a story mode.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But the story mode for me would be more, sort of controversial.
Scandals,
the scandals. That's more of a interesting side.
That's real life. That is real life right there.
I mean, FIFA's already selling by the bucket loads now. But imagine if they add that in. All these people that hate on FIFA will be like, I think we've got something here. So there's that. Oh, sorry, my battery was just going dead. I didn't realise that the laptop had disconnected. I almost ran out on battery midway through. Wow.
There's one thing I wanted to add to the duped thing, which I didn't personally buy this game, and it's the concept of pre-ordering and reviews being held back until like the day before games come out. So there's a classic example of Aliens Colonial Marines, and there was a demo of it, and there were levels in it that weren't actually released on the actual game, and they held the review. Well, I don't know if they held the reviews back, but apparently the reviews were held back until very close to the release date, and the reviews were obviously very poor, so they obviously didn't want them to come out, and people were very disappointed with the game. So it's a concept of pre-ordering and giving false promises beforehand, and sort of giving the carrot of, oh, here's a free new gun if you pre-order it, or a new skin, and that's your bonus for pre-ordering. So there was a big scandal about this Aliens Colonial. Yeah.
Do you think though that we went through a rough patch with all this sort of nonsense and crap with gaming companies trying to rip off gamers?
EA...
But I think, well, EA being the only ones that haven't seemed to have learnt, but maybe Disney will give them the thump that they need after their shares dropped. What I was going to say is, do you think that the gaming companies are starting to catch on to the fact that us as gamers, we're not idiots? We know when we're getting ripped off.
I think EA, as soon as they released Star Wars and what they did with Star Wars, I think the whole world took notice of, like, this is not how you handle a game and how you should be releasing it. It's because it did make everyone just paid the crap out of EA for this mistake of having everyone to spend all the money to unlock all these things, and I don't know, it just seemed like a wrong thing to do. Like, it was all about the money and not too much about the love and care for players and what players want. So there's a way of where the game makers have gone away from thinking of what they for the heart, but for their head and more the money. So it's... And
I totally get Star Wars IP is expensive as all heck, so EA have got to get some sort of return on it. But if you can make that return by just making a bloody awesome game, like how hard is it? And if you want DLC to be something that's a product that you put out there, just make new story modes or something like that make you want to invest back into that game. So half the investment is coming up with the engine and all the rest of it, but once you've got the product out there, tapping on extra content later shouldn't be too much of an issue compared to creating the whole game from scratch. So I don't know.
There's never enough. They're always looking for more ways to make more and more money. I'm really glad with the fallout of what happened with Star Wars Battlefront 2. I think social media and the memes and all that sort of stuff really helped to bring it down. And it was only with this really bad reputation that they started to get that they took it off. This concept of buying to win online. That what I think they tried to do is make you feel like you have to buy these new items to even catch up with people online, otherwise it's not going to be a fun experience.
And there's also that fear of missing out factor.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, if it's just purely aesthetical, like skins and that, fine, sell them, it's a free market. If people want to buy them, they'll buy them. But when it starts interfering with the gameplay and how fun it's going to be and how competitive it is, then you've got a problem. And I'm really glad that there's such a huge backlash and that they had to adjust that.
And who would have thought that the company that's holding back on Aladdin ever being released again in any sort of, like, the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo versions of Aladdin will never be unlocked, it seems. But who would have thought that a company that are doing stuff like that, we would be sitting there going, yay, thank you, to give EA the slap. But they're only doing it because it's affecting their bottom line. So the true heroes here are the people that are creating those memes and the people that are getting online, like Angry Joe, and just getting stuck into, like, Angry Joe has done so much for that story too. That's been a big part of it. That review that he did, and he just got stuck into EA, really did bring it to a lot of gamers' attention. And these are gamers that probably weren't even interested in buying it, but they're at least looking at that video and going, wow, that's pretty messed up. EA, what are you doing? So, yeah. Anyway, well, I think we should move on to the next topic. We have got, mobile gaming. It's becoming a thing. Yay. So mobile games, like if you go on the train, you're on your way to work and back. It's very rare now to see a DS being brought out, or a Switch, I think. You see it, but you're more likely to, if you walk into a room full of bored 5 to 10 year olds, they're going to be on a mobile phone, not on a Nintendo DS or something. So I'm a little concerned. Are we losing out to mobile phones? Because I do see them as an opposition. I'm not a fan of mobile phone gaming. What are your take on?
I don't think it will. The only game I have on my phone is Pokemon Go, and that's it. I know Fortnite and PUBG are on mobile, but I don't see
the only one back still plays Pokemon Go.
I still play Pokemon Go, yes.
Like, okay, Sorry, you joke about that, but that game is still raking in hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It is crazy. People are buying so much coins so they can get more items, more Pokemon storage, more passes to do gyms. It is ridiculously raking in money. And the fact that, because Niantic are still doing events, so every weekend there'll be a park event where people go to, and there's a chance to catch a shiny Pokemon of some type.
Woo!
So people will still play it, and it's a good way to go out and walk and stuff. Because I'm a fat prick, so I need to lose weight. So it's good to go out walking.
Fat prick, huh?
I'm not that fat, but
Excuse me.
Still a big,
but
still a big community thing in my area. There's actually a Discord group that arranges meetups at gyms to catch the legendary Pokemon all together.
Yeah.
So they got a bigger chance of actually catching the stronger ones.
That sounds like that sounds like a raid almost.
It is a raid, basically.
A raid, sorry, yeah. So people have met new people, have made friends, and there's a whole community thing going on with, especially Pokemon Go. I don't know about other mobile games, but if it brings people together and you make new friends and things, I think we see a massive problem.
How dare they? How dare they make something that people actually communicate and interact and talk to each other? It's disgusting.
Because the thing with mobile gaming, it's become more social media type. Because like there's games where it's based on real time and there's strategy turns sort of thing. And like you say, haha, I just did a turn and I took your castle, whatever it is. There's a lot of social media in the game still. So there's, I don't know, it's trying to, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird way that mobile gaming is trying to go.
Sort of real world gaming strength.
Yeah, exactly.
Real world gaming.
Yeah, Ben, I was actually really curious to see your take on it, because you did put out that video where you're making fun of people who are bagging out Pokemon Go, but I noticed you kind of turned off Pokemon Go in the last. You've gone off it yourself.
I'm off and on all the time with Pokemon Go. A couple of friends of mine are absolutely obsessed. It's round the clock Pokemon Go, and I'm not. I can't invest all of my time in it. I just can't do it
now.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not what it's showing. It's got, I don't know what that was.
It's 96.
That's the title screen.
Oh right. Well, you can see I play it often.
Yeah.
My wife plays it. She only plays Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah.
On the 3DS, and
that's popular. Oh yeah.
And she not the mobile phone version. No, and she also plays Pokemon Go. That's it. And I got a strategy guide for her for that to help out. All this stuff in the back here, she couldn't give a shit about. She really does not care about any of this, except maybe the amiibo. She said, "Oh, that's nice. That's about it."
Okay. Yeah, Animal Crossing on the mobile phone is actually quite popular with some of the people that I play Splatoon with, and like it's their go-to thing when they want to get away from Splatoon. They go on the Animal Crossing game on the mobile. So
I thought you were going to say Call of Duty people. You know,
ew, that game's for grown-ups. Ew, yuck. No. So Nintendo actually themselves are bringing out Mario Kart for mobile gaming, so that'll be very interesting.
No idea how that's going to work.
Me neither.
No,
I think it's going to be based on Mario Kart 8, but this is to be toned down a bit, I think, because that's the only way it's going to work.
There's already Mario Kart on DS, isn't there? So it'll probably be just pretty much like that.
It's going to be either Mario Kart DS or the one on the Wii. Yeah, it's going to be.
But when they're saying it's going to be like Pokemon Go, where it's a real world game, I don't know how that's going to work. Mario Kart.
Yeah. I haven't heard too much about it, but that could be something. That would be pretty cool, though.
I have got on my phone one game, and it's Pocket Camp, which is the Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
I don't touch it. I haven't got time, and I don't want to waste my phone battery on games. That's why I bring my Switch or Vita or DS or whatever, Game & Watch. I want to see someone on the train one day with a Donkey Kong. That would be cool. But I don't touch the oh god, I thought I put that on mute. I woke it up, I think. But yeah, I don't touch the mobile phone for gaming. For me, it's for social media, more important.
Yeah, exactly.
It's mainly the convenience of it, which is why you see it so often on trains. I've seen a few switches on trains, I think where people think it's only a fairly short journey. I'll bring my phone with me anyway. It's handy to have everything on there, and it's just a little time killer on journeys. I don't think it will seriously take over gaming, home console gaming, because nothing big, playing in front of a big screen and at home surround sound.
I just can't get into my Switch on the train because I try. And I kind of get into it, but I'm worried that some idiot's going to bump into me. I'm just kind of don't like being trapped in the game and not concentrating on what's going on around me.
And it's an expensive machine as well. It's an expensive machine to have out.
And Sydney's a relatively safe place. There are headlines every now and again, but for the most part, it's a safe place to be in. But the trains are just. It is an unpredictable environment. I don't feel comfortable being, head down into worrying about saving or getting moons, and then a bottle goes over your head in the pro. No,
if I had a Switch, I'd always be worrying about what people are thinking about my gameplay and judging me. Every time you read a paper on the train, someone's looking at what you're reading, and it's just like you always got that anxious feeling like someone's watching what I'm doing. So I would always have that one.
Or they just look at you. Oh, look at that twat! He just missed a hidden room. What a bloody amateur!
I've only ever taken my Switch on a train 2 or 3 times, and to be honest, I didn't feel too unsafe or worried about anyone else. It's just another way to distract and let the time go past until you get to your destination. I've probably only seen 2 other people ever use their Switches on trains, so it's a rare thing for me to see other people use Switches on public transport. So.
Well, I got a trip coming up to China, and I'm going to be that dude with the Switch on the train. But apparently that ad's misleading because they don't let you use the
tabletop.
Yeah, if you take the dock off and play the is it Joy-Cons? Yeah, that can't happen in airplane mode. So it's kind of misleading.
Oh,
because how else can the Joy-Cons communicate with the Switch?
Well, it's weird because I've seen people use Switches on planes and they'll be able to use Joy-Cons out of their dock.
They're not supposed to. They're not supposed to be doing that. So anytime you see someone using that, they're risking, in theory, bringing the plane down just so that they can.
Wasn't that in advertising? Wasn't that in one of the trailers?
That's what I said. It's misleading because when you put it into airplane mode, you can't undock the Joy-Cons. You have to hold it. Yeah, so that ad's misleading.
Yeah, I mean, because they could
comment below if you're watching this if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty certain that the last time I tried that, it does say you can't undock it in airplane mode, which kind of defeats the purpose of bringing it on a plane. Anyway, you can still play it, but you just can't be that guy that has it on the table. All right, we're up to our last question. Well, we got 2 bonus questions, and then we can get these guys to bed because it's like 2 a.m. or something stupid. Yeah. And we did have a hold up getting this set up because of this crap host here. So we have. I didn't write down the last question, guys. You're gonna have to help me out. I'll edit this bit out.
No, I got it for you. Will downloads ever phase out to physical releases?
Okay. Sure, I touched this topic once before. Okay, so it's physical versus digital. Who wants to kick off?
I don't collect games, but obviously you guys do, and I think for you guys, you want the physical to release because it's something to add to your collection. For me, I sort of want it too because it sort of adds a bit of joy that you've actually got the game in your hand and that you can plug it in or play, push it in and play, or put it in and play. I wish I had some games still from the old days because they're so cool to keep, but downloads would probably still be around forever. I don't think they'll ever be phased out. So I don't know.
Well, there are some games that were on digital that you, even if you bought them and you wiped them out and you want, I'll just download it again. Wrong.
You can't do that.
No, there are some games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think, is one that's just wiped off. Wow. And, I'm not saying that these games are ones that I would buy. They're just examples. So it's all about licensing. So the Turtles game was just removed unceremoniously. Another example is a game that Sega of Australia made, actually. Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, the remastered version. You can't buy it. It went up and then it went down 2 years later. And I think that's a Disney thing there. There's a couple of other examples. Aladdin is another one that you will never see that released digitally anywhere, and that's only a physical option. So yes, those games are retro. Anyone else can think of any examples, or not really?
Not examples of that, no. But on the physical digital thing, I will echo the sentiments of what Wacko Jacko said, which is I prefer physical games every day of the week. When I buy something, I want to tangibly hold it in my hand, so I bought it, and I like to look at a game collection and hold it in my hand. And I used to like reading the manuals, but they're gone as well. Yeah, it's left with a little leaflet. So they're meant to save the environment. That's why they say not saving costs, save the environment. That's why they don't put your manual in anymore. But they don't care about the environment enough to not give you a promotional leaflet in there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
and also,
think,
sorry, you go. No, you go. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I think eventually digital will be the only option you'll have. Just all the major players will do it because it saves so much on costs. But I think, however, they'll obviously have a major impact on retailers and game stores, so I think they'll be worried about that.
The thing I just quickly want to say, sorry, the only thing I was going to say, you say that because the physical costs a bit more, and yet the downloads are still full price compared to a physical copy. Do you think maybe download prices should be a little bit cheap, like a little bit less?
The downloads are always more expensive on the Switch in general, on average. They actually are.
And there's an argument for that. There's an argument for that it's more convenient. That's why people would prefer the digital.
It costs them less.
Yeah.
I can't see why though you can't have both. As the Taco Bell girl, was it the Taco commercial here? Why can't we have both? So when you buy a game, a physical game, you should be given a download code for it as well. So yeah, I've got digital, something to put up there on the shelf, and I've got the convenience of just being able to fire it up whenever I want without having to go find it on said shelf.
Yeah, fair enough.
That makes sense. Not company. That's the problem.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I will buy digital only if it's like a ridiculously cheap sale. But then later when I come across it physically, I'm thinking, I've already got it digital. Should I buy this?
Of course it will. Why wouldn't you?
Constant battle of my life.
I mean, if there's a nice remake, I see it as only digital, then I will buy it. Like the Final Fantasy VII remaster. I know they're remaking it now as well, but I haven't bought it yet. But I might buy that because it'd be nice to see it in HD and stuff like that. But I fear eventually it will become a subscription service. Yeah, in the next couple of generations. But we're already seeing it.
No deal.
I hate services. I'd rather just buy a game on merit. If I see a game I like, I'll buy that one game and that's it alone. But subscription services like the Xbox Game Pass does it, and you've got the PlayStation Now and the PlayStation Plus that you have to buy if you want online gaming, and they give you free games that no one really wants with that as well. The occasional one, but again, you don't want to be forking out money for the occasional game that you want. You just want to buy a game on merit and that's it. That's my view anyway. But I fear that eventually, maybe not next generation, maybe a couple of generations down the line, you'll have to subscribe and you'll get given games. That's my fear. I really don't want that, man.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't come to that. But I did join up on the Xbox Game Pass initially, just out of curiosity to see what that was all about. And I opted out 2 months in because I kind of got the feeling that I was not being fair dinkum about the whole thing. I wasn't being how could you describe it? I wasn't being a true gamer. I wasn't being a true gamer in just subscribing and downloading, because the minute you unsubscribe, you got a whole stack of games on your hard drive that you haven't got access to, and you got to work out which one's on the pass and which one have I bought, and I've had to play that game. There's no option to filter it. You got to try and start them up one at a time.
Yuck.
I think we'll go into quickly the bonus questions and we'll wrap this up. So we had a tweet go out asking my followers if they had any questions, and I had a massive response. 2 questions. Thanks, guys. No, I had Brian Thomas. He asked, I have one. What was the worst final boss and level you had trouble beating? I think we'll change that to the worst either final boss or level / which one, either. Anyone got a candidate for that?
The tutorial in Cuphead.
Just the tutorial's a bitch in it, is it?
Have you seen that there's a famous video of a game journalist trying the tutorial in Cuphead and he can't.
Oh, so you were being sarcastic. Okay.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. I played it, got through it straight away. So I don't know what this game journalist is doing.
I did see
another example of Doom as well.
I did watch that
really
Let's Play or that Let's Make a Fool of Ourselves. Yeah, journalist, great.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But a serious answer would be in Final Fantasy VII. There's an optional boss called I think it's the Emerald Weapon and the Ruby Weapon.
Oh,
I haven't done it.
God, I've heard about this.
And if you've even leveled up your characters full, my understanding is you can still die. So even if you've leveled up your characters, you've completed the game, and you maybe get to level 70 or something, and you grind, you get up to level 99, and this boss can still kill you in one hit. So it seems to be a luck thing. But that would be my answer, I think. Ruby Weapon, I think it's called.
I've got one. Yeah. In Earthworm Jim for the Mega Drive, there's a level called For Pete's Sake, and where you have to. There's a little dog called Pete, and you have to make sure he gets through the level without being harmed.
And you want to kick his ass yourself by the end.
Yeah, and it drove me to tears when I was a kid. Almost a teenager, and I was crying. It really infuriated me until I found out there was a level select sheet.
Skip past it. Screw Pete.
Yeah, Pete can do one for Pete's sake. You are just. It's not for Pete's sake. You just want to swear. You just want to say. That's why they called it that level. And I did just swear. Sorry, Brian.
Wacko.
Okay, I had to think about this for a bit, but Donkey Kong Country number 3, I think it is, where you play as Dixie and her cousin, I think it is, and yet the final boss is like the weird robot guy, but he ends up being King Cruel. But the bloody field, the level, variations, it has these barriers where the ground turns into electricity, and there's only 2 little platforms you can jump onto every now and then, and you have to jump from one side to the other using these handlebars, using Dixie to jump on Kyakul's head or the robot's head. And it took me forever at the time to complete. I reckon I invented rage quitting at that time because every time I was on screen. But yeah, that would have been my hardest boss. I had to think of that because I couldn't think of anything else.
One comes to mind for me. So I'm a Sega fanboy and never really touched the NES. I actually don't. I put a tweet out the other day and it enraged quite a few people. It was a picture. It was a picture of just my empty hand, and I said, "This is my entire NES collection. The NES has meant a lot to me in my gaming career, in my gaming life." And that pissed a lot of people off.
I saw that. You did it twice, didn't you? You did it for
and no, I showed you my N64 collection as well.
That's right.
But anyway, I thought Mega Man Series Collection, I'll have a look at it because this game, everyone raves on about it, and I decided I'll download that for the Xbox One and get stuck into it. Mega Man 1, what the hell? That is just insanely hard. I now know firsthand what they mean by NES hard. That's just insanely difficult, that game. I can't even get through the first level without wanting to throw the controller.
Yeah, you just have to do it. It's the only way you can release your anger. It's just, you can't do anything else.
And we did have another question, and this one was from mate Kaiser Cade. Yeah, Kaiser. With all these great I can't do his voice. With all these great retro gaming collections that are coming out this year, what company or game series would you like to see released as a collection? So I guess what he's asking there is, what retro collection would you like to see coming out soon?
Is the PlayStation 1 old enough yet?
It's retro.
Okay.
Trust me.
That'd be pretty cool. I missed the original Crash Bandicoot games on PS1, so that'd be cool to play again.
Done that.
they've done the Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, well, they remastered the trilogy, didn't they? Yeah.
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 But nothing beats the original, though, does it?
Oh, you mean the originals remastered?
Yeah.
They did that. I thought that's what they did.
Yeah, but there's difference sort of between enhancing the originals and sort of remaking it. They sort of remade.
Yeah,
remade it.
there was one in the middle, I'm pretty sure. Which is what Sorax is saying.
Did any of you guys see that they announced? Well, it's leaked. It's still not confirmed. The Neo Geo Mini.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's a little.
I thought of you when I saw that. I thought, I wonder if he's going to be falling for that.
So much so. Now, the prices that I've seen being thrown around for this thing, nothing official yet, but they've mentioned 120 US, which translates into 1,000 Australian. I don't know. It's
how math works. Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't know. They're saying $120 US. That's the ballpark price that you're looking at for this thing. 3-inch little monitor, barcade, I guess you could call it. But you have the option of plugging in your own controller or plugging it up to a TV. And it comes with it's to celebrate Neo Geo's or SNK's 40th anniversary. And it's got 40 games on it.
Oh, right. Okay,
And
that's pretty good.
it looks freaking awesome. For me, sorry, yeah.
Oh no, sorry. It's just popped into my head. It's probably never going to happen. But a Master System Mini.
Please, can we do it, Sega?
It's not going to happen. It would never took off in the US, did it?
Or the
It never happened.
hang on.
Oh, hello. What's he got here? What's he on?
What's it got?
Can we get a mini of this, please?
Wait. What was Was it the 60? The Commodore 64? What the hell was it? You've got one of the original systems. They released a trailer video for it. I can't remember what it was. Was it a 64? Was it that one? Was it that one?
No. This is an SC3000 from Sega.
Oh, that's okay.
This is the very first console that Sega made, and no one talks about it.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Hey, watch it. It's actually it was my first console. This is my first gaming.
That's cool.
But
Nice.
the one that I'm looking forward to, the Mega Drive Mini, if AT Games don't clown it up.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's a new Mega Drive collection on PS4 and Elvis coming out as well.
Yeah, it's taken me a year to get through the Xbox 360 one, and once I finally get through that, then this thing's going to come out. But I'll only touch on the games that weren't on the previous version, I think. But
I can't remember, Brian, if you already mentioned this in the previous podcast, but that new Atari console, the one that's got the wooden look, have you spoken about that yet?
the Ouya.
Is that what it's called? Yeah.
It looks terrible. Like the actual machine itself looks cool.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
That's it, yeah. There's nothing else here.
Yeah, they focused. They spent all their budget on the design of it, and it's just like, okay, so what are we going to get it to do? I don't know.
Is it actually coming out?
I believe it is.
They are always showing up at events with just the box, and people look at it.
Right.
Looks good. What does it do?
Well, looks cool.
We're not sure yet. We'll announce it soon.
It has a cool LED function. That's about it.
Its only function is that we put it on a shelf and you pay us, and then you take it, and then that's it. That's the end of it. That's the end of that negotiation.
Well,
No one else got any more collections? That come on, there must be something.
I mean, you can't really re-release old handheld systems. Otherwise, you'd bring a Game Boy Advanced Mini, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. Why not?
Does it? Okay, well, there you go.
Good.
Have that. Game Boy
Okay
Advance
for
Mini.
that.
Yeah. SP,
Pokemon
the
games.
SP Advance, bring that back again. That thing was awesome. That was my first Game Boy Advance. I later bought the Game Boy Advance itself. You can't see the damn thing. You need a floodlight down before you can even see it.
I had going back on my Game Boy Color. You had a US. I don't know if you had USB.
The worm.
Yeah, a little worm, a little light that was shone on your screen. That's how desperate it was in my household.
I had to explain to someone at my work what that was. They just looked at me like, what is that thing sticking out the top? Because I brought it into work as a show and tell. I had to explain why the light was done there. Unbelievable. Or the PSP. PSP, yeah.
Retro enough, I guess.
It is now, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. I
thought that's what PSP Vista was all about. But
I think Sony may, like, they really annoyed everyone with the Vita. But I got a feeling that they are looking at the Switch and how successful it is, and I got a feeling that they may look at the Vita and think, I think we screwed up with that. I think we need to do this again properly. Because
I've got just one more quickly.
Yeah.
Nintendo 64 Mini. I mean, they're not far from. They just had the S in it. They've had the NES, the SNES, and now probably the 64 could be the next one potentially. But I don't know. You and your 64 collection, you probably don't really care.
Just how many games you can get onto it. The other games are a lot smaller.
Yeah, true.
All right. Explain to me, as an N64 non-owner, why I should be excited about that. In just
that's the thing.
In less than 30 seconds. Go.
It's a collector's item. Well, there's a few good games on this 64 back in there. GoldenEye was one of your first shooter games,
which you can get on the Wii.
True, but that's virtual console.
And it didn't age well. All right, keep going.
The ability to have the classic old Nintendo 64 controllers,
which you need 3 hands for. Yes.
But it looks like you do, but you don't. It's very simple to use. How do you work this thing?
Okay, look, I think I would probably look at it with interest and maybe potentially pick one up, but I just don't. Out of that generation, the N64 for me, and there's probably people that, that kid that opened it up on Christmas Day, Nintendo 64! Like, I'm sure that guy now who's like 1,000 now, I'm sure he looks back on it and goes, wow, that was the best console ever. It was the worst in that generation for me.
Plot twist, I didn't actually have one. I went to a friend's house a lot and played his. So, I loved it so much, because Mario Kart and Smash Bros. And was the first Mario Party game on 64, I think it was?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
So if I had to buy one local, Gamesman are charging like $250 for one.
No surprise.
I'll be right. I'll be right. But
go to cash converters. $100.
Go to Japan. Go to Japan. You can pick them. I've seen Nintendo 64s in Super Potato of all stores, who are not the cheapest. Super Potato store don't charge. They don't charge retro prices. They're pretty expensive now. Because they've gotten so popular, they're like, we should be raising our prices. But you can pick up a Nintendo 64 in Japan. They put it in their junk pile for $75 or thereabouts. Not even.
Wow! I need to go to Japan.
You do.
So good.
You do.
That is so good.
All right. Well, we'll wrap things up. Grumpy Retro Gamers, what videos have you got coming up?
Well, got a couple more music videos. In store. And,
I'm laughing because I know about this.
not sure what they might be, but and also we're going to carry on with the sort of super chat, the gaming, retro gaming super chat sort of videos, because they seem to be more popular now rather than the Let's Plays for some reason. Don't know why.
Okay, I have to look into that.
Yeah.
And Wacko Jacko Gaming.
Golf with friends coming up. That's a lot of fun if you want to rage at each other. It's good. There's a hockey mode with Golf with Friends, which I think you'd be very interested in. Especially good mates with Carbonites.
Yeah, Carbonites do that as well. I do need to download it. It's not overly expensive, is it?
It's like $10, and it has. It's still work in progress, but they've got custom maps now, which is really cool. So you'll see that in the video probably very soon, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks so stupid,
which
just means that that's an instant buy for me.
It's great. Get 3 friends and just go crazy at each other.
Sorax, what have you got coming up?
My next, for those not familiar, I do sort of funny video game reviews, comedy video game reviews. So my next one, I don't want to reveal the game title, but it'll be on the Master System, I think. I've not done a Master System game yet. So I've done a Mega Drive, PS1, PS2, so the next one I think will be on the Master System. I don't want to reveal which game it is yet. And then after that, I'll probably do another app trap video. So I also take the mick out of. There's loads of really bad apps out there, and I'll take the mick out of them. So
That sounds good. That's cool.
So anyone that's watching this podcast and you're not familiar with Sorax Spaces videos, you just hearing him now is totally different to what you see on the video. It's just for me, it's like your channel. Not to give you a big head or anything, but your channel has been the best channel I've found in 2018 so far. I'm just so glad that I found it. I'm just annoyed at YouTube for not suggesting it. Suggesting it earlier. It is awesome. YouTube, you're dropping the ball big time.
Well, it gets Paul Logan.
I was just going to say, stop suggesting bloody Ellen DeGeneres on my list, please. I don't care.
She's on TV for a reason, not to be on bloody YouTube.
Thank you.
And then we go on TV.
YouTube just put out a tweet, saying that we've got now a new range of exclusive YouTube only, exclusive shows or something, or whatever it's called, and it's full of all Hollywood A-listers and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, you have forgotten why your website became popular to begin with, and it's to get away from the Hollywood scene.
Exactly.
It's to get away from the fakeness of that industry and those people. They've got TV. They're right. They don't need. Maybe they should be looking at splitting YouTube up into two and keeping YouTube real, the YouTube that we all know and love, and maybe set up a new website for these exclusive.
You know what it is though? It's them trying to compete with the likes of Netflix and all that. I think. If you think about it. Netflix has got all these TV shows, and you just, we should try some of that.
Yeah, which is why I'm saying they should split it up into two. Exactly. So people that have come to YouTube for just seeing real people who are not overly polished, they're getting better at what they do, yes, but they're not. They don't have a production crew behind them saying, "Okay, you got to do your tie up." Sorry, Sorax. or straighten up or anything like that. You know what I mean. But we're not professionals at what we do, and that's why people watch us, because they know that we're going to stuff up, they know we're going to screw up, and they kind of just see that you're being real. That's why we do what we do. We're trying to be real. I don't have a script. I should. I should
actually for this one.
Yeah. This little rant. I should have at least written the questions down. Bloody hell.
That's it. We're thinking, man. We're thinking.
All right. Well, that's been a wrap. Thanks for having. Sorry. Thanks for coming on.
It's your show.
Yeah, I know. Wow. It's like 1 a.m. here in my mind. I'm just really sorry for you guys having to stay up at this late at night, and I do appreciate big effort for waiting half an hour for me to get the damn thing set up too.
That was fun.
And on my channel I've got a whole stack of stuff coming up, but you guys already know all about that. The Sonic and Sally statues saga that's going on.
Can't wait for that.
IGN are this close to putting that article on their website, I think. I don't know how that's going, but we'll see. And I was on Kotaku, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah, one of those.
And my views spiked, but no one subscribed because it was embedded on their channel, which I hate.
Good job.
Yeah, thanks guys. But anyway, I think I'll leave it at that. My name has been Brian, and I've been gaming since Spacies. Thanks guys.
Gotcha.
Since Spacies.